Hi.
Hi, Dad. How are you doing?
You good? I'm good. Can you see me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me put your volume up a bit.
Let me
Yeah.
turn. Yeah.
That's good.
How are you
So
doing?
it's done. It
Mm-hmm.
cannot be undone. And I'm 3 to 5 pounds heavier because
Okay.
that's how heavy they are. They
Okay. Is
they
that true?
what?
Is that true?
Well, I just noticed it because I weighed myself this morning. And then I wondered why, since I haven't been eating a lot,
Right.
that I should be that much heavier. But then I Googled and I was told
It went.
that the
Wow.
average prosthetic hip is 3 to 5 pounds.
Okay. Okay.
So, so yeah, I've been getting a lot of useful information from the internet.
Sure.
Um,
How are
the
you feeling? How are you? I mean,
actually, each to be honest with you, each day is an improvement.
Yeah.
And there's less pain and more mobility. So I had a visit on. I came out on Wednesday. On Thursday, I had a visit from a social worker and a physical therapist. I already had exercises to do when I left.
Mm-hmm.
I will have physical therapists come 3 times next week
Yes.
for visit. I'm diligently doing the exercises,
Good.
and they are. I mean, they work. And
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah.
so I'm getting used to the fact that the more within reason, the more I work it, the better it works. So
Yeah.
uh, they tell you not to stay seated for more than 45 minutes, but take a round, and I'm doing
Sure.
that. So uh, I tend to fall into a very heavy nap in the middle of the morning and again in the middle of the afternoon,
Yeah.
like very deep, but for
Yeah.
about an hour or so, which I guess is all right. They gave me some Percocet, just only 6 of them, which I
Uh-huh.
take in one at night, and that helps. Um, in bed is a problem because I can't move.
Yeah.
There's a movement I can't do with the hip, or I shouldn't be doing, and so I have to sleep on my back and use a pillow between my legs,
Yeah.
which is for somebody who sleeps on who moves from side to side all
Right.
night.
No, I get it. I get it.
It's kind
Yeah.
of but each night's been a little bit better. I've
Good.
all taken care of, and
Yes.
so the plan is that I have physical therapy 3 times next week, and then a week from Tuesday, which will be 2 weeks from surgery, I will go to my doctor's office and he will um, remove the dressing. And by then, I should perhaps just be on a cane. We'll see.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and then we'll try, and then we'll go to the country, and I'll spend a couple of weeks there.
Definitely.
Uh,
Yeah.
so yeah, so I mean that's the plan. And what's really interesting is that I'm getting some very nice texts, and emails from
Sure. Of
friends.
course. Good.
The same is within 10 minutes of each other. I got exactly the same text from two guys. One Al Aquavella, and the other is a program friend of mine. They're both in their 30s, right? And they
Good.
both said exactly the same thing. They said, "Well, the worst part is over." No, at least the worst part is over. And well, actually, being anesthetized
Mhm.
for 4 hours, you
Is
know, is actually that the doctor was doing. He did all the work. That
Yeah,
was that
yeah.
that was actually the easy part for me because
Right.
I didn't do anything.
And all of that went very smoothly. I mean, all the in
Well,
and
I
out.
look, I yes, I apparently so. I mean,
You
there's
didn't get
a.
your private room. You got a snoring roommate.
Oh, I don't want to go into this. This guy, I asked for private room when I went in.
Yeah.
He told me what it would cost, and I said, fine. They didn't take an Amex card, they didn't charge me, and they didn't book it. So they probably used to people saying no. So I said
Right.
yes, and she had no,
Right.
right? But
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
didn't
Yeah.
know the system, so I didn't know
Yep.
to
Yep.
insist. So they wheel me into this room, and there's this guy curled up, and he sees me come in, and he says, shit. And I say, this is very promising. Okay. So his name is David. He lives on West 80th Street, and
Uh-huh.
he's a racist, tax avoidant,
Oh,
who
nice.
discussed all of his business and his principles on the phone with friends loudly on speaker, then until midnight um, watched America's Got Talent with somebody on speaker, with a male friend on speaker while he was watching it,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's pretty good. So,
Wow.
then, when he did fall asleep, he belched and farted and, but who cares? I mean,
Yeah. Yeah.
he was there when I arrived and he was there when I left. So,
Okay. So,
but,
all right.
but
Well,
he's there,
best of luck to
and
hit
he's
whatever.
doing
Yeah.
something shady on the street that I now know his name, where he lives.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know, uh, if you're watching this, I wouldn't be too cool. You know, I'd worry about your next tax return. That's what.
Right on. Well, I mean, you know the.
Well, he doesn't know that, does he? I mean,
Yeah,
he
yeah,
doesn't.
yeah. That's funny. And okay, and you have your chair. I saw a picture of you and Edith in your chair. That's
Yeah,
working. I
yeah.
know you had ordered that, and that's working. It
The chair is
arrived.
great. The chair is great. I may not need it that much longer, but we're going to keep it for when I am really old. But it does have cup holders and a
Yeah.
massage and a thing that ripples up and down the back.
So you can't.
So
Yeah.
what I don't know yet, or I won't know for a while, I'm cautiously optimistic, is that my back hasn't felt as bad. So
Right. Okay.
I don't
Huh.
quite know
Yeah.
how it's
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
all
Yeah. Yeah.
uh,
Yeah. But stay
how it's
cautiously
all
optimistic.
connected.
That's good.
But maybe if I have a new hip, my posture is better and my back is, you know,
Yeah.
who knows.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I
So
like it. I good. So
I
I thought you. Oh, go ahead. What were you
go
gonna
ahead.
say?
No, I was saying I haven't watched the news or anything, so I'm.
Yeah. I was just gonna say, I thought you were working. I saw a picture of you at your.
Well,
I
look,
got mad.
Bill Acavella called me and I was in the taxi back from the hospital. He was in Basel. Oh, how are you? How's everything? Did it go all right? Oh, and by the way, we just got this call from the lawyers. Yeah, that's all. It's fine. There's
Yeah,
nothing.
yeah, yeah. I,
There's
I,
no.
I, I figured.
It's not. I have a very. There are people. I now have a I now have a foolproof filter system. If I want to talk to somebody about something, I can. But if I don't, they are told, or I tell them, I'm recovering from surgery.
Good.
If it's
Yeah,
not, it's not.
good.
And
I,
I'm a lot better
yeah,
about responding to people who just want what we used to call free stuff, if you know what I mean.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But not stuff, but free.
No, no, I know. Yeah, free you. They
Me,
want you. They
you,
want pieces.
for
Yeah.
you. How was
I
your week?
no, I'm pretty much the same way at work. I mean, uh, if it's well, we're gonna have a refresh week in June, in July, and I will turn all devices off. But beyond that, typically I have sort of layers of people who I'm still available to, just because I trust them and I know, if they're trying to reach me, it's for a good reason, as opposed
Yes,
to more, So
exactly. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Um, But no, okay, what is going on? Okay, well, Ozzy Osbourne had surgery this week as well. I'm not sure what kind, but so you were in good company. Um,
Was it brain
oh,
neuro?
was it? No, I have no idea.
I'm just guessing. I don't
Hmm.
know. No, I saw actually I saw a photograph of him and Sharon. He was looking very un-Aussie, very frail, and
Well, I mean, he's getting up there, but he's yeah, no, he's still hanging
stopped
in there.
dyeing his hair. Maybe.
Yeah.
And rock
He,
stars stopped dyeing their hair.
right, yes, I think Steven Tyler also. It's still long, but it's gray, and that's good.
Oh,
That's
that's
fine.
cool. That's fine.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
That's
But
fine.
no, I mean, Ozzy's been sort of addled for a long time. Ozzy, I last saw he has a show with his son. I think it's on the Travel Channel. It's on some, it's a reality show. They travel around the world, and it's mostly, touristy sites. And his son saying, "Look, Ozzy," and he goes, "Oh, very nice. Oh, very nice." And he just wherever he is, he sort of enjoys it and he takes it in. But how much he actually is absorbing of what's going on around him and what it's meaning to him. I don't know, but I mean,
It's not
it's nice
considered
to see them together.
cruel. Not
What?
cruel. It's not abuse of former celebrities.
No,
It's
I don't think. No, no, it's not that bad. I mean, he's happy to be there. It's father and son. They're both getting paid. So
yeah, okay. Yeah. Look, it's better than being on the Bowery, right? I mean, it beats. Yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah. You've got to
Um,
use what you've got.
but no, okay. So you sent me the article about the engineer and Google and AI and religion.
Yes. Oh, the guy who believed that Google's created a sentient being.
And then is deserving of rights. Which I mean,
Well, it was a bit vague. I wanted you to deconstruct
oh
it
yeah, no, I
for
also
me because
sure.
I mean, you, I mean, what interested me was that Google's response was, "We're not there yet." Google's
Hmm.
response wasn't, "It's only ever going to be a lot of wires and electricity," right?
Sure, no, right, no, right.
It's only ever
Yeah,
going to be accumulation of information and
but I would say companies as big as Google, Facebook, what have you, I mean, they have security people who this is their job. I mean, part of their job is, you know, how close are we getting? How are we doing what we're doing responsibly? Um, I mean, all of these companies have departments and development. I mean, just a horrible, horrible example. Again, without oversight and accountability, Elon Musk had a company called MindLink. They were trying to connect. They were trying to basically connect the computer to the human mind. A lot of people say this is not ever going to be possible. I mean, or at least not for hundreds of years. Or I mean, the brain is very complex. It is a type of computer, but anyway, long story short, they drilled holes into like 46 monkey brains and killed all the monkeys, and it didn't work, and they shut the program down. But this is what happens when sort of a billionaire who doesn't really understand science is just sort of given free reign to do what they want. Um,
yeah, I think it's more likely in terms of turning, I don't know, helping blind people, whatever, turning neurological
oh,
transmission
sure.
into signals. Somehow I can see that, but that's a benign use of technology. If you make a computer system that reacts as if it's a sentient being,
Right.
it's only a sentient being that's going to believe that. So it's a belief of the sentient part.
Right. No,
It's not
wait.
a belief of the being of the computer.
I know. I get. Yeah.
You see, so to me, it's quite fascinating because I mean, look, it's Pinocchio. It's all kinds of things. It's about, it's an old story of making a doll and it becomes real and then it's your friend and then it goes out of control or
Sure,
whatever.
no, sure. Um, and I think we are, but I think we're close. I mean, I think we're close enough that Google can't say, no, that's not possible, or that's completely inconceivable.
Yeah.
Well, no, or no.
I think that they can produce something that acts as if
Oh, yes,
in every respect.
yes.
In other words, that doesn't suddenly, if you ask it, I mean, it seems to be at the moment, most of the time it works, but then there are certain questions where you might get a response which is complete gibberish because
Of course, no, of course.
it,
Um,
it hasn't it hasn't computed
the
it has yeah.
the. But
But that happens between human beings too.
I was
Well,
gonna say, but
that's
I don't know if the absence of gibberish
yeah,
is the criteria for.
yeah.
No, but okay, but here's the standard then that like meat eaters who like to argue with vegans on the internet, they say, well, what about plants? Don't plants have feelings? Don't plants communicate? Aren't there scientific examples of ways plants using pheromones or what have you?
Yes.
If that's not sentience, then shouldn't you be not eating plants too? I mean, they try and push that argument. So, um,
Well, that's communication between I don't know, non biological communication is constant in the universe. I mean, you can. I mean, we saw these amazing examples in Africa where when the giraffes came towards the trees would release these pheromones that told the trees further down the trail to turn out their poison. So the giraffes. So
sure.
this is biological communication. They weren't actually talking to each other and saying, "I love you." Can we
Okay,
get
but then
married?
here, but again, this is the argument that but then the meat eaters argument is the same is true for animals, that they're all driven by biology. They don't have instincts and so. And again, I'm not necessarily. I mean, I am an animal rights vegan, but I'm more an environmental vegan. I'm not here to be like pigs have souls, but broccoli doesn't. Maybe they both have souls. I'm not, but I'm going to eat broccoli and I'm not going to eat pigs. I don't know. I mean, that's just a
No,
personal preference.
yeah, yeah.
Uh,
That's rational. You know.
I don't know, but yeah, no. I mean, these arguments are interesting to me to a point. I don't know. I guess the other part of the Google argument is just how companies just this whole do you align with your own company's ideology and what does that mean for your future employment and companies that are sort of offering parachutes and whatnot oftentimes they use kind of like a memo to say, this is kind of off topic, this is moving off topic, but some kind of memo to say, like for instance Netflix, well, if you don't agree with our transphobic comedy shows, you're welcome to leave because we're going to stand behind our, these are now, we're calling them free speech stances or whatever. And then the next round, the interesting thing is the same companies tend to, after that, if they can't get people to separate, then they start a round of layoffs. So they start with like who will out themselves, I guess, and then but it's usually it's just this weird new tactic that I'm noticing of like if this is how I interpret it, pre layoffs, if we can get employees who ideologically are not, which I guess is, I mean, if you're mission driven, I guess any company has a right to have a mission, and if we can get people to leave by making the workplace uncomfortable for them, by putting out some kind of memo or some kind of statement that sort of jars them into what traditionally would have been people marching into management's office and saying, we demand this. Now they're saying, just leave, which is, I guess, a corporate right. But it's interesting that companies are sort of, and we're talking about diversity, equity, and inclusion, drawing these lines in the sand and saying, you know what, we're not really interested in that anymore. And we're now we're now in that world where they can, and they can select from a pool of employees who are like, neither am I. I don't know. It's
Yeah, I think that I think that some of them are learning to play the game. They they feel they've been gamed, and
sure,
now they're striking back.
sure.
And sometimes they make mistakes and then they have to backtrack. But the point is, if you're a large enough company, who cares? In other words, you fire 500 people, you get 200 of them back. The public
Right.
complains, people stop buying your Oreos, they'll
Hmm.
stop buying them again. If you know,
Exactly. I know. Yep.
so there was an interesting story that I did read about there was a relatively new newsroom editor at the Washington Post. She's
Oh,
been a year or so, who's insisting
yes.
that people work 3 days a week in the office.
Yeah.
And the staff who've been doing fantastic stories and fantastic jobs, and you
Yep.
know from wherever,
Yeah.
just say no.
Okay, no, and again, I hate to, he is my boogeyman, and I really do hate Elon Musk. But he has so much power and influence, not just on his own companies, but on other companies, because he says something and then it spreads across the business stratosphere. He insists there is no data about going back to work. Companies, okay, I understand why governments want back to work because downtown cores are
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, no, I understand why governments want people back to work, but if you're a business executive and you're saying as a CEO, for all the data suggests, and I know this as I supervise people. People
Yeah.
work so much harder from home. It's ridiculous, actually. The amount of hours people went from working actual 40 or 50 or 60, depending on your industry, hours to like literally almost like we were just talking about you and me being virtually available at all times to someone somewhere, which is to say, virtually working at all times, even if it's just responding to a text, even if it's
No, but that affects productivity. That is positive for productivity.
well, I think there needs to be a balance. First of all, I mean, and I encourage the people
Well,
the people I work with
but
don't,
if you have a 9 to 5 office regime, or 9 to 6 or whatever it is, those people are going to they go home, they wipe their head, they have a martini, and they say, F it,
right,
I'm switching my phone off, right?
right,
Um,
but
uh,
yeah,
so I think it makes more people productive than would otherwise be, because it gives them flexibility in their private lives, in
and
their
people
lives.
can whatever industry, a reporter can be working on that story while attending to their child. Why? I mean, it
Yeah, of
really
course.
and the way schools work now, it's not even I telling parents to anyone, but really people to go back to work offices full time isn't realistic for a lot of people because we're still, even though we're post COVID, schools still close down all the time for for 2 weeks or for two because of a scare or
Yeah,
because what have you. It's the new school model. So again, the government is separate from business, but all evidence suggests there is more than enough productivity. People don't need to return to offices, but what they can do, and what I would do, was what I would do, have offices, have them available, have them more like the WeWork spaces in terms of communal access to resources that are easy to and
yeah,
perks, snacks and
yeah,
I don't know, heat when people's houses get cold in the winter and
yeah,
good functioning air conditioning in the summer. People will show up and just the being
hang
there in the
out.
office,
Yeah,
and you don't require them to, but you maybe make a recommendation 2 days a week or whatever you think is fine. And there is also evidence, because again, that yes, when people, what is missing in the virtual world is that when people just sort of, the organic people connecting with one
yeah,
another, there is a certain type of productivity that is missing, but you can't force that, and you're not going to force that back. And it's so you can allow it to happen, and you can invite it, and you can make it inviting. And
yeah,
downtown cent. Oh, can I just finish my thought because I have a
yeah,
whole, this is my spiel. Downtown centers, again, because the government are the ones who really want this more than businesses, can incentivize businesses by giving them direct supports to incentivize employees. What kind of incentives will you get? They can incentivize parking, make parking free for people who are working downtown. They can incentivize local businesses in the area who actually want those. What kind of, how those neighborhood associations create a card or a meal ticket plan so people who are working downtown again want to start shopping in those local businesses. You can do all these things that make people want to, because I go to work 2 days a week, not because anyone requires me to, but because it's nice to get out of the house. I'm allowed to bring my dogs. I get to see someone I like.
Well,
You don't.
that's very healthy. And people who are productive because they like running into other people, will do that. But also, you
Oh,
don't necessarily have to be in an office to run into
sure.
somebody, because when I was in my junior days trying to sell pictures and stuff, I if I had no telephone calls after lunch, I'd walk up Madison Avenue from 57th Street to 79th Street between 3 and 4 o'clock, and I would run into at least two people that I would have a chat with, and who knows, something would happen. So there's street life, there's corporate life, there's business life, there's home life, and I don't think you can go back. I mean, I think that the solving the crisis of the city centers is, I mean, look, it's easy to say this about New York, but it's the buildings here are turning from corporate offices into hotels, and the
Right.
tourists are streaming in. The tourists are streaming in. The restaurants are booming, and that's an alternate use, right?
Sure.
So anyway,
Okay, so I mean, here's what's interesting to me. Amazon displaced retail. Amazon now takes up the Macy's building downtown, which actually used to be the Bon Marché. But either way, it's a large department store, but now it's offices. But now it's not used. And so Amazon converted parts of it to homeless shelter. I mean, literally like a 800-bed homeless shelter.
is that for tax benefits or out of?
Probably. Oh, no. And yeah, no, I always, especially, no, because I don't like Elon Musk, but I don't want to say I love Jeff Bezos or I love Bill Gates either, just because they're local or Washington. I don't think that they're as destructive. I'm sure it's for tax purposes, and I'm sure the empty offices, and I know actually, I mean, well, I don't know. That's someone else's problem.
Yeah.
So, okay, I don't know. I think we got cut off last week, and I don't know if there's anything else to say about it or if there's any
What
update
were we
about it.
discussing?
The Mona Lisa, I think there's nothing
Oh,
interesting there.
well, I haven't, what's interesting to me is that there has not been any follow-up on it in the art press, which
Right,
means that there's not really enough of because even if there was a slight ham on the bone, they would do something with
right,
it. And the fact that there isn't leads me to believe that there are no burning social justice issues. This is a whack job, a guy who he may indeed have a mental health issues, or he may just be looking for a moment in the sun,
right. No,
like
yes.
Tony Shafrazi when he spray painted Guernica.
Oh, yeah,
It
yeah, yeah, yeah.
was like a bad call. He thought everybody was going to applaud him, and boy, he just got it wrong. So, uh, yeah. So actually, what I did do yesterday, it wasn't very difficult. I did the final text proofing for the 2 chapters I've added to the value of art.
Yep.
It's done. The illustrations are done. And I apparently, yeah, okay. apparently, probably the several paragraphs that I've written about cryptocurrency are redundant now because there won't be any cryptocurrency by the time the book comes out. It's it's already crashed or is crashing. But I predicted it.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
no, I didn't. I
Wait,
didn't
wait, no,
predict
well,
it.
well, if we're talking about what are we doing about that? Are you, I mean, are the chapters are staying though?
What I cautioned in the book
Yeah,
was that cryptocurrency that was being used in the art world, either to buy NFTs or simply to buy art,
right,
that cryptocurrency in some countries was already being
yes,
regulated.
yes, yeah, yeah,
In other countries, it was not,
right,
but that my guess is it would become regulated. And when
right,
it became regulated, it becomes a different thing. And
yeah, yeah,
also,
yeah. No, I mean,
I want people that it's are you're not substituting a dollar for a euro. You're buying
right,
something, and if that thing makes a profit, you owe tax. I mean that it's a
right.
anyway. I don't know. It looks to me just from reading the headlines that cryptocurrencies
But
may
okay,
all, I
no,
don't know.
okay. There's the business end, and then there's the aesthetic end. For I mean, for what it's worth, here are two things. Okay, I mean, a lot of articles that suddenly came out, but I feel like only because of the crash that are like, isn't all this art kind of crap? And it's like, you think? But I mean, it's like, it's almost like they're just noticing now. But the other part that is just shocking to me, or I didn't understand, is it's auto-generated. It's literally like so here's the part. At the very least, I was hoping like some low-level graphic artist was being like paid to like churn out these apes or ponies or whatever, but it's auto generate. Like there's
Well, yes, I don't. I mean, I don't go into this. I mean, I mentioned that certain of these artists are in fact lab technicians. I
oh
mean,
yeah, 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 sure. No,
but
I mean,
there's
and
one,
that is known. I mean, that's
yeah,
part of their
there's
cachet
one
almost.
that I kind of use as an example gently of I think some a really bad, not unskillful. There's a NFT artist called Blake Catherine with a
Oh
Y.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Catherine is the second name, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Blake Catherine online has a huge amount of information about herself. Although it's not written by her, it's other people praising her, the
Sure.
deals she's done with big fashion houses. In other words, this you would imagine that this person is like a Banksy or Cause,
Oh yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah, sure.
So when I tried, or when my company tried to get permission to
Mm.
use an image, we kind of discovered we don't think she exists.
Right.
And
Yeah.
it was actually my agent who said, I think Blake Catherine is just a bunch of guys in a, you know, she's man, even though there are people talking about how when she's working, the pixels illuminate the freckles on her face.
Sure. Yeah. 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 I know. I mean, it's.
So yeah.
Yeah.
But do they care? That only matters to somebody who thinks art is art, but to somebody who thinks art is a convenient financial
Vehicle. Yeah.
vehicle, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. No,
And
I get that. No, and I know, and I've always understood.
it looks a bit like the Mona. No, it looks like the Venus de Milo, but kind of like up to date. So, and she's not, she's got long hair and you can see her nipples. So it's okay, right? I mean, So we
Uh,
leave it there.
all right. Happy Father's Day.
Oh, thank you, son.
I
Thank you.
love you. Happy
I
Father's
love you
Day.
very much. Have a great day. Okay, you taking
Yeah.
your daughters
Wait, no,
out?
we're not. No, we have 4 more minutes. Can we?
Oh, good. Okay.
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 Happy Juneteenth. It's Juneteenth.
It is Juneteenth.
Yes.
It's on Juneteenth on Sunday, right?
Yep. Yeah. 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 And
It's
so
today.
Saturday.
Today's Saturday. Sorry, I got a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
oh,
we're all good. No. Yes.
that's good.
It
Well,
is
that's good.
also, and I don't know. No, I was just looking at my like calendar. So the planets are aligned. Mars, Mercury, Venus, Jupiter, Saturn. If you're people who are into astronomy, they're
Oh,
visible in a way that they're not normally for the next 10 days.
oh, good.
It is also pollinator week. Oh, how is I don't know. I know you guys are in the city, but how is your garden going?
It was going pretty well
Okay.
a week ago.
Yeah, good. Yeah.
Yeah, we both saw the peonies, which I usually don't see because I'm in Basel. So
You both saw what?
peonies.
Oh, peonies. Oh,
I'm
nice. Yeah.
often not there when they
Yes.
bloom.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
bloom
Oh, so you got to see the
very
peonies.
long.
Nice.
So
Um,
yeah,
but
yeah.
it's pollinator week, so celebrate bees and all
Oh, okay.
trying to
Am
think.
I allowed to put bird seed out for my
Oh,
birds?
we talked about this because of well, you don't have chickens, so I think you're safe. You're not going to get
Okay.
a bird flu from,
There
you,
are chicken. I hear chickens. I've never seen them, but I hear them from neighboring, like 2 or 3 streets away. I can hear them, but
well, the other thing you can do for pollinators is just not mow your lawns or not mow the wildflowers or cut down weeds because even like what like dandelions and all that,
all
that
right.
so I mean, but then neighbors don't like that because then your dandelions get in their yard and they get
Oh,
mad.
yeah. I don't want problems with the neighbors.
But no, I love you, Dad, and yeah,
Love you.
continue to like do your exercises because
I've got.
if you
I
just
am.
if you
I'm
do them
okay.
and
Did you
yeah.
see this? No. This is a grabber,
Oh, you have a
right?
grabber. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
don't.
yeah,
Whoever invented this has my undying support.
yeah.
I
I have
can't
my
imagine
yeah, yeah, yeah.
how I lived without a grabber.
I use it for so I bought one to pick up garbage around my
Yeah,
property because and then I use it for numerous
I
no,
know.
they're
It's
they're
amazing, isn't it? Yeah. I
I
love you,
love you
son.
so much,
Have
Dad.
a good
Have
day. Enjoy the rest of the weekend.
you too.
Happy
Okay.
Juneteenth. Bye.
Talk to you soon. Bye.